Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're jumping on early today at 11:25 a.m. on a Monday, April 5th, start of the week. And things are hot. Things are red hot. I'm going to pull up some charts. I'm going to show you the dollar. I'm going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to talk about some assets. We're going to talk about our new one-on-one services to make a difference. You know, a lot of people do those one-on-one services or whatever, they're paid groups, and it's not necessarily self-serving. But I would argue that a lot of persons aren't really qualified to provide financial advice, maybe because it's just not the way they think. It's not, you need to be respectful of money. And it's not just about making money. And that's really what I'm trying to hit home on, guys. I'm trying to hit home on you work hard for your money and you want to protect it as much as you want to grow it. And that's really the point. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a difference. Trying to show people how to make money, grow money, and not lose it. This isn't about making as much money as possible. Today's title, Uniswap V3 XTokenMarket and Noah's Office Hours. Let's get the show started. Today's stream is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social goods. Stop depositing on exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto, non-custodial, DeFi, or nothing at all. Bam, let's pop it over to the main screen and see who's in the stream. Got Matt's in the house in the UK. Always a pleasure. Montana, good morning. Cheers. Lido, morning. Julian, hey, haven't seen you in a bit. What's up? Great dad speed. Noah, have you seen anything in the DeFi space that could play the same role in end-to-end funding that supply chain finance did for TradFi? Yeah, it's there. Chico Crypto talked about it much more than I. There's a bunch of Polkadot solutions. It doesn't come to mind, but supply chain funding and escrow and the way the supply chain works slips my mind. I'm sure there's massive potential. Obviously, it's up against the status quo of existing infrastructure and systems, but there's systems that provide, allow us, actually, the general public, rather than uh, vested or invested money already and large parties to front the capital and to get the interest because the capital was fronted. I forget the name of the systems. It just hasn't been a topic I've been exposed to in quite some time. Chico talked about it very nicely. It was quite consolidated, and there were some nice platforms he went over at the time that I recall encountering the information. So I know what you're talking about. I'm definitely not prepared to talk about it in depth currently. And in any regard, the platforms would be highly speculative. Participating in them, speculative, and there's risk associated with participation. But governance its assets and stuff like that's just the same exact thing we deal with on a daily basis. Highly speculative, risky assets. Let's keep it going and see if I could. Let's see what I could do. Noah, on grass-fed beef based breakfast. Well, grass-fed beef generally at any time. I watched a documentary yesterday with the wife. Was it? It was about it was the Netflix show about the fishing industry, and frankly, it's quite disturbing. So I've tried to be vegetarian at times, but I think the most logical thing is to be respectful, and I want to respect um, animals. I don't want this show to be talking about that, but I like my animal products, but man, it's just important to respect every form of life and whatever. I'm not going to delve too far into that topic, but you brought it up, man. You brought it up. Back. What's up, Lewis, my brother? How are you? Can you explain to us what V3 is? So aside from the nuances of V3 and how participants will interact with the platform, the most notable thing on the surface is that LP positions are represented by NFTs rather than fungible tokens. ERC20s is the status quo, which are fungible. You get one ERC20, one fungible token as an LP position, you could liquidate 50% of your position, 5% of your position, 10% of your position. You could sell half. You know, when you're trying to liquidate an LP position on Uniswap, you're given a percent meter. You could sell a portion of it. That's not going to happen with V3. With V3, it's non-fungible. You have an LP position, you could only have it or liquidate it. And this is really where XTokenMarket comes in. And I think there's a reason or a good reason to think why Hayden Adams mentioned or resurfaced what xToken has been building. Um, the only way for fungibility to be reintroduced to the Uniswap platform on V3 is with third parties providing wrapper contracts. And that's what xToken is going to be doing. Fungibility is a capacity to break down something into discrete components. So if you have 100 of something, can you sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and still have 95 left over? So Uniswap V2, it's all fungible. Uniswap V3 is not fungible, but you can take those non-fungible assets and wrap them in fungible ERC20 contracts or ERC20s that represent a position in a contract and introduce or reintroduce fungibility. So xToken has some great products currently. So there's one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 products currently, with one, two, three, 4 different platforms: Synthetics, Aave, Kyber Network, and 1inch. And currently, what they do is they take the ERC20 DAO asset from those particular platforms and automatically execute voting according to different rules, A and B, and you can look through the details. Are they in this or are they in the? I think they're the XTokenMarket, and you can look through the different rules. But the point being is there's interest from staked Kyber Network, staked Aave, and staked Synthetics, and 1inch. So that interest typically is APR, not auto compounding. And what XToken does is it makes it auto compounding. It turns APR into APY. So these particular positions are paired with Ethereum. So XSNXA is an asset that you would get, let's say, from 1inch. All right, so 1inch really focuses on X-inch, obviously, but you could get them also from directly from the platform. You would go to XTokenMarket, the market, and you could wrap your synthetics into XSNXA. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick for you. So you take your synthetics, you have your uh, value or quantity that you have in your account here, and you can mint XSNXA and so on and so forth. KNC, Aave, X-inch, 1inch, so on and so forth. So what you do is to participate in the platform with regard to a position in XTK, you know, is speculative. Holding that asset is very volatile. Let's take a look. It's down 13% day over day. That's massive volatility. You have $100,000 in there. You lost $14,000 in a 24-hour period. Bear in mind, it's up 400% over 30 days, but that doesn't mean anything. It means it's volatile. It means if there's a massive market risk-off event, you're going to experience significant losses. So how do you approach these types of opportunities with respect to the fact that you can lose a fair amount of money? The same way I talk about other risk-on assets. You have small positions, but there's a little bit of nuance introduced because of the staking opportunity that's built into the xToken platform. I have a relatively small XTK position, and I have Ethereum. I have Ethereum in Curve. All my Ethereum is in Curve, earning 20 to 40% interest. You guys know what I'm talking about. So what I took is a little bit of that Ethereum. I paired it with X-inch B. I placed it in so it uses the 1inch pool. So I'll show you. Here's Ethereum paired with X-inch B, which yields 2.26%. It's relatively low volume, but it's not a negligible interest rate. Compare that to your damn bank account. So these are 2 volatile assets. This is a double volatile asset pairing. You're going to be exposed to 1inch auto compounding, which is awesome, and Ethereum. So point being, depending on your risk tolerance, which I currently have an appetite for Ethereum and 1inch, my 1inch risk tolerance is muted as compared to historically. I used to have large 1inch positions when it was, I think it dipped to 75 cents from its $1.75 more or less launch. Now it's at, was it $3 and change? $5. It's pumping today. Wow, did it break out? So I'm looking at the DXY also. We should really look at that chart. But Bitcoin looks solid. I'll say it very briefly. Let's look at the 1 inch chart. 3.26 with some nice resistance breaches at 3.22 and 3.13. Next up is trend resistance, as well as this resistance up there at 3.45. Those are the immediate resistances. 1 inch USDT. Wow. How do you like them apples? 1 inch broke out. All right, so it looks like I finally bought 1 inch at a good time. So I've played these pops and dips, and I would buy and then sell because I'm fearful it's going to break down through support. But wow, that's a nice relief to finally see 1 inch break out. It deserves it. It's not the largest position. It's a decent position. I got like 2,700 1 inch. It's like 14 grand worth. That's paired with Ethereum, which I have, and most people in the space have. These are small positions. It's worth noting, and I know it's a large number, the 14 chip, and paired with Ethereum, that's another 14, so it's about 28 in the pool. But with the 28, it's still a small percent of the portfolio, and that just is what it is. Don't take excessive risk. And what's beautiful is I don't need to buy XTK. With this position, I'm generating 474% on the total dollar denominated in the pool, which is about 374 XTK per day at 92 cents. That's pretty much 300 and change dollars per day in yield. That's nothing to sneeze about. That's really cool. So I like that. I do have also some XTK, which is like 0.1% of the portfolio, which I paired with Ethereum, which is producing another 67 XTK per day. So why am I excited about xToken? It's completely off the radar. Nobody's talking about this stuff. Let me see if I missed anything in the stream, and I'll continue with that thought. Carlos is in the house. A pleasure. Lewis, I'm going to keep going on this. This is a hot topic. Trevor, my man, do you have any overall crypto market technical opinion with regard to slow downward movement, continuing and consolidation patterns, or a slight uptrend? That might be, it is a bit of a mouthful, but I think the market looks strong, and that really comes down to the dollar. Let's get on to this topic in a moment. But why is xToken hot? We talked about fungibility. And the fact is, it's a 16 mil market cap. And this is one of the few solutions that are currently known to be developing a fungible solution for Uniswap V3. And Uniswap V3, or as Uniswap, is a $17 billion platform with the critical mass transaction volume in the entire DeFi space that does more volume than Coinbase. And this relatively tiny little project, you know what I'm saying? This could do 10, this could do 100x and be 1.6 bill. And 1.6 bill, I don't even think is in the top 100 anymore. 1.6 bill, and we're talking about 75. 75. It'll be in the top 100, but it'll be 75. That's how many assets are in the billion-dollar valuations nowadays. So xToken can do 100x on this money. And the whole point is, this is exactly why you have small positions. 100x on its money, if you have 1% of your portfolio in something that does 50x on its money, you just transformed your portfolio, radically transformed your portfolio, and you didn't need to take excessive risk. There's no guarantee that an asset goes up. Clearly, without risk, you don't have return, you don't have gains. But if you take excessive risk and the market takes a dip at an unopportune time, you're going to get hammered. So I know the way I talk is not going to maximize your gains, but the reason that's important, it's important to not make as much money as possible because you have to respect what you already achieved and the work that the time that you converted into money by working. um, Got to respect that and protect the value that you already have. And we do that with the dollar denominated positions or a dollar stablecoin paired pool position, which is dollar protective against the volatile asset. So when you're talking about the xToken pairings being paired with Ethereum, that's not dollar protective. The market tanks, XTK and Ethereum are going to tank. 1 inch is going to tank. It's nice that it's breaking out. I'll hold this as long as I can, but you have to take profits denominated in dollars because the whole world operates on dollars. We don't have a Bitcoin standard. We don't have anything other than a dollar standard. It's just the way it is. What do you make of the Rook Dev update? Remarkable, incredible. I'm not going to delve too much into it. Rook does not have a deflationary component currently, so it has a decaying inflationary monetary policy. I think Rook has the potential to be immense. So throw 0.25, 0.5% of your portfolio into it. That's a speculative risk on position. What I like about this particular asset at this point in time, so there was one other asset that I was tempted to throw this type of capital into, which is Power Index and YLA and CVP. So CVP is the Dow asset, and YLA is just a remarkable auto compounding derivative of derivatives. YLA is probably it's the most incredible asset, really, right now in the crypto space. YLA. I'm just saying. But the reason I'm not in YLA at the moment is because I want the curve asset. So YLA is a derivative of urine vaults, which are a derivative of curve positions, auto compounding curve positions. And YLA automatically manages what particular urine vaults to participate in. But instead of getting the auto compounding dollars, I actually want the CRV. I want curve. I'm very bullish on curve, and that is why I've chosen to do this. But for the vast majority, including our one-on-one Noah's office hours, I strongly encourage, especially new entrants, to be USDC. Have the vast majority of portfolio denominated in dollars. Play with urine vaults. Get insurance using Armor Finance. And then once you have an established portfolio earning interest, you've beaten the shit out of a bank account. And then you can take risk. So, from a risk off standpoint, only then can you really not just appreciate, but have the right mindset to start taking risks with your value. Right now, I'm sure the vast majority of folks have everything in risk. Ethereum, Bitcoin, 1inch, or whatever asset you want to talk about. These are all risk assets. They're volatile. They will go up and down. USDC isn't going to go up and down. It's an asset. It stays the same price. It's backed by US dollars in a bank account. You have to be protective of your value. And that is what I will always recommend. Minimize losses, Lido. That's right. So that's exactly what Noah's office hours is all about. One-on-one. I will be talking to people, and it's no longer no suggestions, no recommendations. You show me the portfolio. I will provide feedback, honest feedback. Privacy policy, I will never talk about anything. That's just my God's honest word. It's who I am. It's how I operate. I'm here to help people because I've helped myself, and people deserve an opportunity not just to make money, but to make better choices. And that's not entailing we have to gamble. You just have to have a rational mindset, and you could do it unto yourselves. But we need help. We need a soundboard, someone to provide feedback and analysis and options and choices and discussion and so on and so forth. And that's exactly what the office hours are designed to be. That soundboard, that capacity to get feedback on your choices and how much risk are you taking. Now, the odds are a lot of you really subconsciously probably know you're taking a lot of risk, maybe even excessive risk, but you're so tired and fed up of the legacy financial system that you got to take this risk because otherwise there's no way to win. But you don't necessarily need to take as much risk as you're taking because a lot of folks did not live through 2018 and 2019, and dare we talk about the older market cycles. But it's quite painful to watch 50%, 75% of your money just evaporate because you bought at the top and you're just watching it go down and down and down for years. And that can happen at any time. And if you operate your portfolio like a depreciative event or a market cycle could turn bearish, you operate that can happen at any time, then you could sleep well at night knowing that you're prepared. Because if 25% of your portfolio is risk off in dollars, earning 30, 40, 50% interest, You could sell your Ethereum, you could sell your risk assets and pile into the dollar denominated stablecoin positions, earning double-digit interest. And instead of losing 50% of your money, you lose 15, 20% of your money. You protected your principal. And aside from the fact that you could still potentially lose your money in the risk assets, you tried. You tried to protect it. And that means everything. Really does. Um, You've been teasing a new venture, Matthew says. Sorry if you've covered this already, but any details you want to share about what this could involve? Yeah, so I launched it already. It's all over Twitter. I launched Noah's Office Hours, and the links are all up on Twitter. Just check out my profile history and you'll see the Twitter posts. And people can now join me for a 15-minute one-on-one session, which I'm more than happy to discuss particular portfolio choices and provide assessment, analysis, risk considerations, recommendations, suggestions. We could compare to my portfolio. I'm more than happy to show and share my positions and what I've done and why I've done it and how much success I've achieved. So I guess I do need to show what I've done for myself in order to substantiate why my ideology is rational and reasonable and effective and protective. So we will do that. I keep office hours the majority of the day. Obviously, at 11:30, I'm on the stream, and I have a couple of meetings throughout the day, so I turn off office hours. But the software is quite impressive, and it'll allow me to be available. If people want to talk to me, you now have a way to talk to me. So honestly, it costs money because my time is valuable, and I struggle to have enough free time. My dream would be that I'm able to drop work and do this full time. I want to help people as best as I can. There's millions of people that are involved in this crypto space taking excessive risk, and I need to help that. I need to fix that because you can make a lot of money with 30, 40, 50% interest on dollars. You work. Everyone works. I work. But you save your money. Quick money is a problem. Quick money is dangerous. Quick money is gambling. And quick money, more often than not, results in losses rather than gains. Or if basically the inverse of Chainlink in terms of bringing on-chain data, act as another layer, middleware, aka the plumbing of crypto. Well, Link is incredible. I don't have a Link position because I don't necessarily see a dollar stablecoin pairing. If I had a dollar stablecoin pairing, maybe there is on Uniswap. Maybe I'll take a little bit of a Link position, but that's just something I'm not in, and that's okay. You can't own everything you want to own. You have to make tough choices. And that's what I want to do with Noah's office hours, help people make tough choices. And only you can make the choices in the end of what to buy and why to buy it and how much of it to buy. But you need to have a rational discussion about all the considerations. Link is great, but you got to also have conviction. Do you want to take a full risk on position and just hold Link? I mean, Bancor probably has a Link pool. I think the biggest liquidity for Link is actually Bancor. Yeah, look, Link 18% in this 58 days. So that's a great way to have risk on with Link and earn interest. Bear in mind, it's risk on. Link goes up, Link goes down. You're going to make money and lose money, respectively. Now, I'm not going to look at 1inch to see if there's a USDC pairing, but we could look at Uniswap.info. There's probably a USDC pairing. Let's take a look real quick. That's right, Lito. We did learn a huge amount in 2018. No, look at that. It's all Ethereum. Everything loves to be an Ethereum pairing. Everything loves to be an Ethereum pairing. So there's substantial risk with that. Now, I'm extremely bullish about Ethereum. I have a relatively large Ethereum position, but it's a volatile asset and it could go down. The whole point that I try and hammer home is nothing is guaranteed to go up. The odds are it will. But what happens the day it doesn't? And that's exactly what Lito's mentioning. You learned a lot from 2018 that shit, everything's going good, then all of a sudden it's not. It's kind of good for someone to experience such a bear market. Yeah, there was a lot of pain. That was very painful. No better way than to learn from experience. So, yes, personal experience going through that depreciative cycle is very powerful. But if I could extend any effort to prevent someone from losing money, I'm going to try, and I think that's worth the effort. Um, it's no fun to lose it. Yeah, I saw that update, Carlos. Alchemix updates have an awesome loans now yielding 40%. Yeah, Alchemix is a big deal. Alchemix has characteristics of MakerDAO, but a MakerDAO that has a self-paying loan component. Alchemix is a big deal. That's probably the best way to put it. It's worthwhile to look into. Um, very Bantag has talked about Alchemix. I think the contracts are relatively stable and reliable. We haven't had any security breaches, and we haven't had any doubts about the implementation. I wish an insurance position was available. If you're going to throw like 20, 30, 40, 50 grand into Alchemix, you probably want an insurance policy or any meaningful percentage of your portfolio. And that's really why I focus on Yearn and Curve, because those are very easily insurable positions. ArmorFi has excellent liquidity for Curve and Yearn positions, and that's awesome. Costa, you're very welcome. I wish I could only do more. Wish I had more time. Um, so in conclusion, xToken is an incredible speculative play. It's completely off the radar. Nobody's talking about this whatsoever. I mean, look at $2 trillion total market cap for crypto, and this thing is coming in at 854. It's off the radar, and that's just fascinating. Doesn't mean you're throwing in 15%, 20%. It doesn't mean you're going to gamble the shit out of everything on it, unless that's your risk tolerance. In the end, I'll never tell anyone what to do, and I've made good money over the years taking excessive risk. I mean, you put in a good portion and it rips 500, 1,000%, you're going to change your life. But is there anything different than that than putting money down on a blackjack table? I mean, the whole point of the crypto space was to be the creation of a new functional financial system. Historically, you could put money in your bank and earn 10, 15, 20% interest a long, long time ago. But the point being is you work, you save your money, and your money grows. And crypto has allowed that to happen again. And the reason why so many folks just want instant gratification and a 10,000% gains is because the legacy system, we didn't grow up with interest. I was born in 83. I grew up with jack shit interest, maybe a couple percent here and there. But it wasn't since a long, long time ago that interest was, and saving was even promoted. Nowadays, with the debt-based system and the fractional reserve and not being on the gold standard, money is basically liabilities and created by lending and borrowing of banks. So money really is backed by debt, backed by loans, backed by banks lending. And if it wasn't for that, the money would be worthless. It would just implode in on itself. But we can save. And now the fact is we can save dollar denominated that outperforms monetary debasement in insured positions. That's why people kept their money in bank accounts. You could put your money in and you got FDI insurance. You could put your money in Curve and get insurance policies on it. So we're de-risking what was considered risky positions, but I would argue Curve is in many regards inherently de-risked. I mean, ArmorFi is just an incredible platform with incentivized emissions of 257%. I mean, Armor's about $1 a pop, and this thing's cranking out about 300 Armor a day at this point. So I'm completely incentivized to retain a relatively large, over-insured Curve position and just keep throwing in Ethereum. Completely incentivized. I'm getting the money back in an asset that is actually asymmetrically appreciating. Oh, that's incredible to see. Look at those percentage gains. What are we at, a $78 million market cap? I'm getting 250% on my insurance position, an incentivized yield that's, in theory, speculatively going to just go up in value. If I accumulate like 5,000 Armor and then it goes 10x on the money, which is less than $1 billion, Come on, that's a reasonable market cap. It's made 50 grand off of literally insuring my interest bearing curve positions. That's crazy. That's crazy. Would love a general overview video of what you do and how you manage your portfolio. My understanding is very limited. My pleasure, Costa, but I don't think I'm going to do that in an open public setting. I'm more than happy to talk about my portfolio in our private Noah's office hours type setting. So check Twitter for how to set that up. It's literally just a link you go to. It's very simple. It's an incredible platform, and I'm more than happy to have that kind of private conversation. Um, Carlos, nowadays the bank charges you just to use it. I mean, are you getting debit card transactions at an ATM? You're screwed. And in a variety of countries around the world, you're paying interest on your bank account instead of getting interest, which is quite disturbing to say the least. If they did that in the United States, I would keep zero balance in the bank. Every dollar I got, it'd be extracted to USDC, and I'd be earning interest to accommodate debasement using the crypto space, insured positions in the crypto space. I noticed you're following Y-Axis. Do you have any opinion on their metabolts? I'm interested in it, but I don't have any positions. I think I tend to stick with the majors, as I call them. Major Curve, 1 inch, Uniswap, Bancor, Kyber Network. Those are really the majors, Balancer Labs. And they have been very de-risked, in my opinion. And to top it all off with an insurance position, you're covering whatever risk remains. And Nexus Mutual has paid out. It's just what they've done. It's worked. The insurance is working. Decentralized insurance is working. And these smart contract platforms are iterative, meaning everyone's learned from everyone's mistakes, and they're very critical. I mean, Yearn's post-mortem the other day on a minor security issue was extraordinary. A post-mortem is when you talk about and document the event that occurred. I've never seen a post-mortem like that in all my years in corporate America. So Yearn is full of next-level programmers, and they're impressive to say the least. And what they've built is probably the foundation of meaningful financial system components in the future, and they'll just keep growing. They'll just keep growing. Yes, Costa, my friend, my pleasure. Be more than happy to talk about personal information. So, in conclusion, 11:58 a.m. on a Monday. April 5th, Noah's office hours is launched. I'm more than happy to get personal with everyone. No longer can be, I'm going to restrain myself from talking about specific assets that I own, or you're welcome to talk about everything that you own. Let's talk about feedback. Let's treat this as a financial advisor. I've looked into the subtleties of laws and regulations. Now, the vast majority of financial advisors are regulated by the SEC dealing with securities. I'm not selling anything. I'm providing advice on how to protect your value. So it's the antithesis of financial advice. My services are risk management, risk consideration, and protection, and how to grow wealth management, rather than gamble. We're going to turn the crypto space into not gambling and use the products and services that have emerged to the maximum of their benefit in a safe, secure manner. Because we damn well know that if you keep dollars in a bank account, you are guaranteed, without a doubt, to lose 15% of your money per year. So we are forced to take action, forced to allocate our value to access to forced to aside or forced to buy stuff to account for monetary debasement. So the conversation we have with ourselves, and now the conversation that we can have one-on-one with the new platform, is how to apply this value in a risk-considerate way and do things different than we would have done before we started talking together. So, as always, I thank everyone for joining me. 12 o'clock. We got 35 people in the stream, 12 likes. We can do better. So, tell everyone to subscribe, and it's just the start of a new week. I will see everyone tomorrow. Peace.